Hi everyone out there in YouTube land, this is Annette Dion, the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. It's Tuesday, October 26, 2021. We're winding down the month, ending the week, or starting the week with Halloween. Depends on, if you consider the start of the week Sunday or Monday. Coming soon. And to the trick-or-treaters near you and the Halloween partiers near you, I just want to mention that today we are under a nor'easter storm warning. For the second time in about 6 weeks, I've had to reschedule my Tarot at the Castle class, and tonight we were going to have a party. So the weather's getting pretty inconvenient. Anyhow. Also, I live in Gloucester, Massachusetts, which is the home of, the location of the book The Perfect Storm happened here. And today is the 30-year anniversary of that storm. The no-name storm, they called it, wiped out entire homes. Rogue waves everywhere, and as we know, sadly, if you've read the book or saw the movie with George Clooney, that storm took out all hands on the Andrea Gale, the fishing vessel, and very sad. I know people that didn't make it, and that's kind of what I grew up with here on in the fishing village. So interesting. I mean, Sebastian Junger put us on the map with The Perfect Storm book, which became a movie, as we know. And back at that time, global climate warming, that whole thing wasn't as in your face as it is now. So my point is that 30 years ago, a huge storm like that was a big deal, just to give us some perspective. I was reading today about where we're at with the global climate change thing. So the storms just keep getting worse and worse. And I mean, when we have a nor'easter, if it's a heavy duty with high winds, which is what it is if it's going to be called that, there's massive devastation. So the global climate change warnings must be heeded, and I was just reading an article that said the trajectory that we're on as a world means that we are not going to meet the necessary numbers in terms of cutting carbon emissions by 50% at least within this decade. We're going to look at that today, because I want to see if we're actually, as a world, going to get on board with dealing with this massive problem that has a time limit in terms of whether we can turn it around or not. I always say it takes a disaster, but in regards to the natural disasters that are happening, the weather events, because of this situation, we've had a lot of disasters and we haven't seen a lot of action. So if you want to pray or intend for something, there's plenty to pray and intend about. Put that on your list. That this world gets it together, and that this country gets it together eventually. But in a timely manner. So let's look at the cards. Let's see. So yeah, this morning, my outdoor exercise time, I was amazed at how windy it was, and it was I kind of was waiting for the sun to come up, and I felt like it didn't even come up. I mean, it was dark all day. Definitely Halloween-ish, definitely kind of on the spooky side. Definitely very mystical. Okay, so let's start there. Why not? Since we're on the topic, let's start there. Is this infrastructure bill with the climate change, fixes in it, is it going to pass with the climate change initiatives in place? It's really disturbing that greedy, horrible people are making decisions for humanity. Joe Manchin is in my mind. I'm sure you can guess that. Let's just see, where are we at with that? And you know that Biden's going, he's going to Virginia today or tomorrow. We'll talk about that. But he's going overseas to meet with other world leaders about what the heck are we going to do about this problem. And he needs to bring something to the table, or we're already looking so bad in the face of the rest of the world. We don't want it to get worse. Right? Let's see. So far it's calm. Oh well, actually this is about global climate change initiatives. The Two of Cups means come into some agreements. The Three of Pentacles is building from the ground up. New initiatives, and the Wheel of Fortune is a turn in the right direction on action on global climate change. The guides are telling me that there's it feels like a Scandinavian country is gonna pack a punch in terms of how much they are going to commit to doing. I feel like some country in that part of the world is gonna take, the lead. I don't know if it would be Sweden or what. This is just strictly a psychic impression. I haven't read anything about this. But I feel like there's some countries that have their economies intact. Oh my gosh, we are not considered a country that has its economy intact. It brings that idea to mind. We're not considered one of those. We used to be, before greed and Citizens United took over. Yes, that's where we're at. But it does look like we'll come to some agreements, with world leaders. And since I was talking about the infrastructure bill, I mean, that means, by the process of deduction, that means that the infrastructure bill is going to pass with the global climate change initiatives to help curb carbon emissions. The Wheel of Fortune is things turn in a good direction. Wow, I started on a positive note. That's good. That's good. We do our best to give you hope. Let's see. I'm just thinking about things that are on people's minds right now. The race in Virginia. I really liked listening to Obama. I saw a little clip of Obama in support of McAuliffe in Virginia. And that Youngkin, this is a real barometer. This is a real test of where Americans are at with having morals and wanting truth and wanting progressive, intelligent leadership. This is going to be a big way shower in terms of where we're going as a country. This is a key race in Virginia. And that Youngkin guy, man, he's all over the place. What a chameleon. He's just like, oh, you think that? Yeah, I think that too. Oh, you think that? I think, yeah, but he's, as we all know, he's really leaning towards the big lie and saying the election was stolen and just, appealing to all those, haters. And I want to tell you something about that. Whenever I tune into the energy, particularly of people that have signs and flags that say F Biden, where has this country gone? What happened to human decency? That's a very sad place to be. I mean, you might say that it's, in your own self-interest to not say things like that, because what goes around comes around. It's going to come back and bite you. Like Don Jr., hello, talking about, separate topic, but, the Alec Baldwin, that horrible accident, that lethal accident on the set. I guess that was on Sunday or Saturday. Maybe that was Friday. Time's flying. So Don Jr. sends out gets t-shirts made saying something about, Alec Baldwin being dangerous, guns not being dangerous, but Alec Baldwin being dangerous. I don't know. It doesn't even deserve any more of my attention than what I'm giving it right now. But karmically, you can't expect good things to happen with that kind of energy, putting out that kind of energy. And I always say to pray for the people that are making you upset, or to send good energy, or if you can't do that, if you can't muster it, just distract yourself from paying attention to them. The reason that I say that is because when I tune in to people that are really hanging on so tightly to the big lie and to 45 and, and saying F Biden, the President of the United States, they're saying F Biden. You don't want to be there. It's an ugly, dark place to be. It's just not, don't you want to be happy? That's the way I look at it. Don't you want to be happy? And if it makes you feel like, one atom of compassion, they're not happy people. Because happy people are people that are loving and kind and compassionate. Let's be real. Let's be honest. I'm not being all airy-fairy woo-woo. It's not that. It's just logic. If you're putting out negativity, you're going to feel negative. So, this race in Virginia, we will find out how many people are going to be opting for the negativity, for the perpetuating this, treating each other horribly, and racism, and, anti-Semitism, and we're in a tight spot. The fact that race is even remotely close, just like the election in 2020, is very disturbing. So here we go. Let's do a deep dive into seeing what is going to happen. The other day I said McAuliffe would win, but I saw a lot of drama. And this race reminds me of the recall efforts of Elder, the Republican in California. This race has very similar energy to that. And it's the extreme right. It's the extremely, and I hate to say violent, but it's the violent right. What are we learning from this? I always point to my sign that's a little covered. We give thanks that darkness reminds us of light. I'm going to talk about January 6th in a moment. We're going to look at the race in Virginia. How it's going to go. Are you making plans for Halloween? I hope so. It's a big deal. It's a big holiday. It's a witch's new year. You know what? This has been my card for the people who have the power. The good people have the power. The good people have the power. Yeah, the guides are showing me the people that really, 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 really care about seeing this country going in a, I'm just going to say, loving direction, are going to get out there. And the guides are showing me these are people that would vote if they had to stay awake all night. The people that are for McAuliffe are going to do whatever it takes to get him to win. And I do see a conflict in terms of Youngkin claiming voter fraud. I do see that happening. But I don't feel like it has any teeth. The people have the power. This is the strength card. This is Youngkin trying to look for a way to win. It really reminds me of that California recall effort. I know it's not a recall effort, but I'm just saying, it really just, the energy reminds me of that. The Princess of Wands, it looks like there's a female politician on the right side of history that's helping. I haven't been following that race very, I'm in Massachusetts, it's in Virginia, but I haven't been following that closely, but I feel like there's a woman who's going to help push McAuliffe to the win. So there might be somebody who's speaking. I have to look. I know Biden's going there to speak. I know Obama was there. I'm not sure who else, but I'm dropping cards. Hang on. And these seem significant. The Death card. We're coming to the end of this darkness. I'm not just saying that to make you feel better. I tell the truth. I tell you what I see. The Princess of Swords. This is there's female energy behind this race in Virginia that's going to help McAuliffe. I almost feel like it's judges. So it's possible that it gets contested. It's possible that it gets challenged. But I actually lost my pendulums again, both of them. So So get a new one and we'll use the pendulum next time. I don't know. I think everything around me has legs that they just walk off. Next item, there's so many. I don't want to keep you too long, but I had to cancel class tonight, so I have a little extra time. We're going to try to stop at 30 to 35 minutes. January 6th, I did see the article in Rolling Stone. And all I could think of was, I've been saying it all along. I've been naming them by name for months now. If you go back to some of my old videos, some of them are on Facebook, but you can find them there. I still have an account. I'm not active, but I still have an account just to use Messenger. I've been saying for a long time, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, Holly, Cruz, McCarthy, Gohmert, the other one whose name starts with a G, is it Gossert? I'm leaving someone out. Mo Brooks. There's about 12. That's 8 of them. They were directly involved. Steve Bannon, obviously, but he's not. I'm talking about the people in leadership positions. And I have had visions of the cameras in the Capitol and the video that they have that. And I always see video of Kevin McCarthy helping the insurrectionists, like kind of guiding them, like go this way. Boebert was doing that. It's really interesting for me to see this, all that I've been seeing in my mind's eye, come into light. And today, the energy is very strong. Like, it does feel like we're reaching a tipping point in terms of there's just too much information for them to gaslight this away. There's just too much. If we get a fairness doctrine back on the books in terms of media has to be responsible and be truthful, or let people know that this is not a fact. Think Fox News, Newsmax. Jen Psaki, who's the press secretary, she's been doling out some doozies to some of these right-wing media organizations. One of them was picking on Mayor Pete for taking paternity leave. He and his husband have twins that were born prematurely, and he's on paternity leave, but he's still working. We're all working from home. We're all working from our offices and our homes. Or I'm not. I have a separate office, but they're always working. They're always working on something. If you're in a position with that much responsibility, you're always working. So anyway, one of these journalists was trying to say that he shouldn't be on paternity leave because he needs to do his job as a transportation guy. Secretary of Transportation, I think it is. But what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at, let me just tell you, the moon is in Cancer today, so I'm swimming all over the place. And Cancer is a very psychic sign, because Cancer is a water sign, and with the moon in Cancer today, it's really easy, and with the veils very thin, it's really easy to see and feel things clearly. So we're reaching a point where justice will happen. We're reaching a point where justice will happen. It will, and it is, and we have to hold that in our mind's eye. It's easier to have that faith and have that sense of conviction when we start to see things, But, it's like my sermon a couple weeks ago, if you want to watch it, was about having faith, having faith when you can see it in front of your eyes. And I don't mean I'm not waxing all Christianity. I'm just saying having faith in something that's right in front of your eyes is clearly much easier than having faith in something that you can't see. So we have to just continue to have faith. But what I'm saying is, eventually, and pretty soon, we're going to start to see the evidence. You know, it's easy. I know it's easier to see it once you know, believe it once you see it, but you gotta flip it. You know, it will happen. It is happening. We can believe it and then we'll see it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we're going to look at the January 6th Commission and what is up with the January 6th Commission. I'm not sure where the hearings are at, if they had hearings so far this week. I think they did. I did mention that Clark was going to testify and that he was going to out 45. A lot of people are going to start outing 45, more than you would expect. Let me tell you something about that Virginia race. That Youngkin dude is on the fence about which way to lean. Because some of those insurrectionists, believe it or not, are starting to change their minds about what they did and whether that was the right thing to do. They really did think it was the right thing to do, or they wouldn't have done it. As horrifying as that is. But when they see how nefarious this is, not that they have consciences, because they proved that they didn't, but some are coming around. So, let's just look at the January 6th Commission and see what we see. Oh, that card wanted to come. 4 cards want to come up. Yeah, this card comes up around the January 6th Commission a lot, and I want to tell you, this is a surrender card. There are people that are having to surrender, and I feel like Clark weighed it out, and he's not going to be the only one. Weighed it out, and it's not really come to Jesus moment. It's just, it's more, you know, I can't give him that much credit. It's more like, do I want to go to jail? Do I really want to protect 45? Do I really want to go to jail out of protecting 45? That will be the consequences, or do I want to just tell the truth and get a lesser sentence? It is coming down to that. For most of them. The guides just said something about Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is shaking in his boots. I didn't mention his name, did I? I mean, he's on my mind. Gosh, they have something really incriminating on Ted Cruz. I wonder what that is. The January 6th Commission, they're going to start firing questions. Like, I get this barrage of questions, the January 6th Commission, before the person can really think. Just, you know, Liz Cheney especially, which I said the other day that I really feel like Liz Cheney is psychic. And the guides just told me that John McCain, on the other side, the veils are very thin right now, John McCain is guiding Liz Cheney. No, Donald Rumsfeld can't be. Well, you know, I gotta tell you something. Annette, what are you talking about? Rumsfeld was an evil, evil, evil man. He didn't care. He was sending little young men off to war, and I can't even get into it. But when souls cross over to the other side, if they've been that evil, I think that, you know, that some of them have to really pay penance by contributing to good things happening on the physical. Paying their dues, kind of. I kind of feel energy. I know this is crazy, but you have to understand, when people cross over, their personalities drop and they become light. When I do a lot of mediumship in my readings, and the veils are very thin right now, and when people cross over, it's so hard for me to convince the person I'm reading for of this, that they're not the same person. They're not that anymore, but they will identify themselves by describing to me how they were when they were on the earthly plane. Anyway, I'm very chatty about this. Liz Cheney is being helped from the other side, and I feel John McCain's energy, and I feel Donald Rumsfeld's energy, because he needs to pay penance for all the horrific things that he did when he was in human form. Since the veils are so thin, I just want to tell you the January 6th Commission is working hand in hand with the other side, a lot of helpers on the other side. Hold that. Take that in. Because that is happening. I've been doing readings a very long time, and I know what I'm feeling. I just know it. The King of Swords is Adam Schiff. The Queen of Swords, this represents Liz Cheney's energy. The Hangman, as I said, this is people surrendering. Okay, you got me. There's no way out of it. You have the evidence. I can't. You just showed me a picture of me in the insurrection. You have the evidence. You just showed video of me egging people on. You know, they're gonna have to just, it's not even fess up. They're just gonna have to say, yeah, you're right, that's me. Of course it's me. A picture of me in the insurrection. So, not me. I can't even imagine, right? But this represents Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney. These are just the questions, and the people are really angry. It's righteous anger. It's anger for righteousness' sake. Okay, what next? So much, I'm telling you, there's so much. Let's take a look at this storm. For selfish reasons, I suppose. The worst one that we had recently was September 1st. I shouldn't laugh. It's terrible. It just keeps interfering with my plans, I'm telling you. And I'm not alone in that, right? And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying these weather patterns are affecting all of us. And really, let's pray and hold positive intentions and thoughts that we can turn this global catastrophe around, and that the people that are suffering get help. We need that infrastructure bill. Cinema hasn't changed. I just want you to know that. I just want you to know, cinema has not changed. She won't. She's frozen. She's an ice queen. Okay. Bannon. Let's look at Bannon. Are they going to haul him in soon? They're going to haul him in. I just wonder if it's going to be soon. Then I'll ask about the weather. See, it's too many things to cover. The guys just said to go to Bannon. The moon in Cancer. I know this is a Scorpio card, kind of. But this is very reflective of the moon being in Cancer today too. Steve Bannon's getting nervous. He's getting very scared. He's thinking about what he can do to negotiate. Steve Bannon is running out of things that he can use to save his butt from something bad happening. The Hierophant, there's too many laws in Steve Bannon's way. There's too many laws in his way, interfering with his intentions to do more evil and more violence. The guides say he's lining up the violence, but whenever I tune into that, it's like they can't organize. They're not having an easy time organizing. And you know, we have heard that those insurrectionists attended dozens of meetings with these senators that were part of this insurrection. It's all out there. If this country doesn't do something severe with that, we're going to be the laughingstock of the entire world, worse than when 45 was in office, exponentially worse. Bannon knows he can't get out of this. It's limited. The Four of Swords is limited options, running out of money, negotiating weekly. I mean, like, not strong weekly. And the laws are on the books. The laws, this is like convention and law. Not like just the justice card, but it's like it's like the Constitution. The Hierophant is like the Constitution. These laws have been on the books forever. It was out and out treason. It was out and out insurrection. It was out and out attacking your own country and your own government and people with plans to execute. It can't get any clearer than that. We'll get to the weather in a second. I just want to tell you, and I've mentioned this on my videos several months ago. It was not lost on me that January 6th in the Christian calendar, and some of you may have thought of this. I thought of it immediately after that all happened. On the Christian calendar, January 6th is like Little Christmas. It's called the Epiphany, when the three wise men showed up and saw and adored the baby Jesus and all that. The point being, Epiphany means awakening. You know, when you have an epiphany, it's like, I just had an epiphany. It's like everything is shown to you. Usually it's positive. Let me tell you what the guides told me about January 6th. All these domestic terrorists were kind of underground. And January 6th, as horrifying it was, and as much as we wish we could turn back time and change all that, what happened was all that darkness got exposed. All the leaders of like Proud Boys and the, you know, like the Oath Keepers and 3%ers or whatever they call themselves, all those groups came together and they were all exposed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's good that January 6th happened. I'm just saying a result of January 6th happening is all those evil, violent people got exposed. And I'm not saying they're not still a danger, because they most certainly are. But we couldn't find them before. They made it so easy. They were taking pictures of themselves. I'm telling you, it's just craziness. All right, let's go to the weather. This nor'easter. Man, do you remember seeing the pictures of New Jersey, houses underwater, and you know, September 1st with Hurricane Ida, and New York? That's going to happen again. I don't feel like this time will be as bad, but it's just like, you know, when it's that disastrous, the degrees barely matter after a while. Okay, I'm going to ask about this storm hitting the Northeast. The poor people in California, they got, man, well, look, put the fires out. I guess if you have to look at something positive, put the fires out in a big way. It was like, you know, the heavens just dumping dinosaur-sized buckets of water on California. When will we learn? We can't keep this carbon emission thing going up and up and up. We can't. We got to stop it. Weather. The moon in Cancer means lots of water. It's a water sign. I have that right? Yes, I do. I can see from this far away. Okay, yeah, Five of Swords, yeah, we're kind of stuck where we are because as a society, as a world, we haven't paid our dues, and we're paying our dues now in the disasters. It's going to be rough. This storm is gonna be rough. I felt it this morning. Right now it's calm. It's rolling in an hour or two. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. I might come back tomorrow. Five of Swords, yes, this storm is gonna pack a punch, not just in New England. Obviously, it already hit the West Coast. That was horrifying. Also, I feel a lot of states in the middle of the country, more in the south, are gonna get, you know, like Illinois. I mean, that's more north, but, you know, the southern parts of the Midwest. I'm sorry, I wish I had better news. The Six of Wands, actually, this is the beginning of the end of denying that we need to do anything. Six of Wands means it's going to make this country insist on making changes that need to be made. And I really feel like someone's going to read Joe Biden the Riot Act if he shows up overseas. I think it might be Scotland. I have to look. Where there's a meeting of the world leaders about global climate change and what they're going to vow to do to cut emissions. I feel like, gosh, there's some world leaders that just, you know, they get Biden's ear and they just blah, 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 blah. What are you guys doing or not doing? Put it that way. One more thing I'm going to look at real quick, and that's voting rights. I'm just going to pick 3 cards real quick. And then I'll let you go, and I will be back. Today's Tuesday. I'll be back Thursday or Friday. I'll definitely be back before Halloween, and then on Halloween for Church of Spirituality too. And thank you those of you who watched Church of Spirituality. I only threw it up on YouTube because I had to get off of Facebook because it was too slimy. And I really appreciate you watching. Okay, here we go. Voting rights, Wheel of Fortune. We're gonna go through a tough couple. We're gonna go through a tough couple of races. This is the card of feeling like enough already. We're worn out. You know, come on, let's do something. Negotiations being stuck. The Three of Wands means fluidity with the people. And the Wheel of Fortune. There's going to be a change for the better on voting rights. I said months ago that I saw the filibuster not being a part of the voting rights bill. It's not going to interfere because it's going to be skipped. The filibuster needs to go anyways from the Jim Crow era. It's just disgusting that it's still operational. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. I can be the psychic for the remote psychic for your Halloween gathering. If you're interested, send me an email. It's totally fun. Nobody's called me for that yet. What's up? annettedion7@gmail.com. That's where to reach me to book an appointment for a reading or a party. And I think that's it. That's it. Namaste. Be in touch. See you in a couple days. Bye. Batten down the hatches. Be safe.